All right, welcome to today's YouTube video. Super excited for today's video. This is going to be a two-part series. We're very, very pleased to tell you today that we actually have one of the founders of Channel Junkies with us today. And we're going to go deep into what does it look like from the perspective of being able to passively prospect? What does it look like to be able to get on YouTube, talk about your area, be able to highlight that, and be able to build know, like, and trust in your sleep. And so in today's show, we really want to go deeper into what can a website do for you to drive traffic from a YouTube channel where they can download, they can explore, you could retarget. There's so many amazing things that you could do with that. So today we have the one and only Jackson on with us today. Welcome and thank you so much for your time today, sir. And how are you doing?
Doing really good, homie. How about you?
Doing amazing. It's funny. I was talking to Jesse, and when we first started this relationship, he was talking about the vibe board. I know the vibe board's big on your end, so I had to get a vibe board and get on your guys' level. So yeah. I absolutely love it. It's freaking awesome.
I actually made a 2.5 hour YouTube video. I know everybody wants to go short form, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. I'm polar opposite. I mean, I'm hour minimum, and I did a video on my vibe board leveraging the website you guys built us probably 3, 4, 5 times in there.
Wow.
And that video went absolutely ape shit. Pardon my French, but
you're good.
It went crazy, and then it was driving so many people to the website you created for us, and it's really insane to think about, you know, some of these things going long form, doing one video a week. You know, I use that vibe board or screen share, and man, we can drive a lot of crazy amount of leads per month.
I love that. I love that. I can imagine in light of editing, as you're going through the process and showing the board or showing the map and clicking on things, how much more it's interactive instead of you needing to actually do the edits, put it out there. And I love the way that you guys are articulating your website and also the map, so you could be able to change the UI UX. So, you know, if anyone out there knows YouTube, it's set up the way it's set up, right? You have your shorts, and you have your stories, or your shorts, you have like your main profile view, then you have, say, the various different playlists. But with this, if someone's looking to move to Central Texas, they can go on the map, they can easily be able to look at Cypress or whatever area, like you were talking about, dissecting it, and then they can watch those relative videos that are going to give them exactly the information they need to make an educated decision to move into said area. So genius, man. Hats off. I love the way you guys are navigating the site and the way that you're doing what you're doing with YouTube.
Yeah, we actually get a lot of reach outs of people because I've got so many videos now, and they're like, man, I'm having trouble finding this one, or I'm moving to that area. And you can make playlists. I get it. You know, I'm big time YouTube creator guy. You know, I get all the playlists and all, but sometimes people are just kind of, they're not, I hate to say they're dumb, but yeah, sometimes they're just dumb, and they don't know how to leverage, like really use YouTube, or they don't have the time to like search.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I've, you know, mastered over the years of doing all my YouTube channels across the country and everything is those like soft calls to action throughout the videos that aren't salesy. And when I started leveraging, which I love, and I told Jesse, because he's like, I want to build a site and all this, I said, I want it to be valuable. There's no sales on it. There's no beat you over the head to, I hate all the fake landing pages, cold call. That I said, I want something that is like super valuable. And I'm like, yeah, if we can get it to where I can tell people they can go to this site and find the individual cities and videos. And he goes, that's exactly what they build. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you right now, I will drive more people to that website than anybody on planet Earth. And I mean, Jesse, I don't know, you might have the stats. I don't really look at them, but I know at one point it was, you know, on average, I think people were going through 2.5 or 3 different pages on the website. So they're like taking time. And then when I started saying, hey guys, we built the most valuable resource if you're moving to Houston, Texas, you're ever going to find. This is what I wish I had when I moved here, because there was none of this stuff. There was no videos, no site. And then I found out that all the blogs were written by national moving companies, and they're steering me in the wrong direction. It was terrible. Hey, here's a map. Check it out. It's the very first interactive map. And you can hover over it, pick the areas that you're looking, and guess what? There's all our videos of that area. And man, when I started saying that, it like just erupted. I'm talking crazy. And I think we got 58 or 60 something web forms last month alone, not including the 178 leads we got from email, text, and call. So, I mean, 200 and 240 leads last month from our YouTube channel, and getting an extra 60 from your guys' website.
Wow.
And it's not just the website. You got to be able to learn how to actually send people there organically. But and one trick for your audience, if they do this, which they should, I actually started saying, and I'm very good again at like in videos telling people, you know, what to do and how to do it by like stepping into their shoes. So I look at them, I go, man, we got reached out by so many clients, and we had a big Zoom webinar, and the number one thing that everybody said was, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the website. This is the greatest thing we've ever been to.
Wow.
That's how I say it in the videos. And so I go, guys, I'm not going to cold call you. This is a free resource. If everybody's saying it, it must mean something. So you guys should go check out this free website.
Yeah.
Go around, check out all the pages. People on average are doing, 2.5 to 2.7 pages. So they must be loving it. It's very valuable. And so in their mind, without them even knowing it, like, oh my gosh, why is everybody going there? Why are they all, and so we're driving a lot of traffic to it.
I love that. Yeah, I was just sharing on the screen there for a second as you're kind of going through.
Yeah, because that had a heat index on it, didn't it?
Yeah. So I'll show you guys again here. And so basically you have so we use Hotjar. So we could basically look at a couple things. So Facebook pixel targeting, UTM, Hotjar, and we can look at utilizing Hotjar as far as the heat on the map. So where are they mousing at? And this could be a great actually idea for additional videos or content to put out in specific areas of the map. But this is just a 30-day I think this was like month 1 or 2 when you guys first got the site going. 1,800 views, 67 engagements, 26 phone calls, 37 form of submissions, and 4 clicks to email. And I think that the biggest thing that you just touched on, Jackson, is I love the fact that you're setting intentions. You're setting intentions and you're thinking ahead. And the word that comes to my mind is customer journey. You're giving them a process through a customer journey as to more than just a playlist. It's like, hey, like, go to this location. This location is going to be featured rich. I love that you don't beat them over the head with sales. It's like, no. It's education first and value. When my wife and my daughter and myself moved from California to Gilbert, Arizona, just about almost 5 years ago this summer, that's what I did. I went on YouTube and I found some random stranger, not an agent, with his iPhone filming content. And he didn't have any of this stuff. I wish that I would have found you guys, and you guys would have been in Arizona, and I could have, because I didn't know Chandler or Gilbert or Mesa. We ended up going to Gilbert, and thank God we've actually we've 100,000 a year for the past 4 years off our house. Amazing market, and Arizona's exploding. But yeah, I mean, you guys are going beyond and above for individuals looking to relocate with your content and information. And I think that there's so many people out there that could be viewing and watching that's missing out on these opportunities.
Yeah, man, it's not easy. As some like to say, it's just so easy. Just upload a video. There's a lot to it. It's getting more competitive as the landscape grow. And I've made the competition. I mean, I created the whole Living In program. 6 years ago or so now. And it was easy back then. I'd show up to any city and just dominate. Now, there's a bunch of people out there. And the only reason I bring that up is because it's not to deter people, but we're actually having a lot of our new rookie students go out there and just kind of dominate because we're able to kind of teach them what doesn't work anymore, and they have the fast track. And so the number one thing that they're reaching out now is once they get the thing rolling, is the website and kind of pairing that thing up there. A lot of people follow what I'm doing, see what I'm doing, and once we added that website in there and proved that it showed a lot of just traffic to it organically, not having to do blogs or anything, it's really kind of created a buzz. So I wouldn't put the cart before the horse. Like, you got to have the good content, and that's the most important part. If you're just trying to buy a website to get you these leads, like, it's just probably not going to work as well. You got to put in a lot of work to drive people to it, and I don't think anybody understands that. But if you've got a good following, pairing it with somewhere they can go valuable with these Liftoff website, man, that thing is a gold mine, dude.
100%. And that's where I think individuals like you said, nail on the head. Don't put the cart before the horse. get the traffic, build a YouTube channel, because you're going to have a budget, right? And the last thing you want to do is stress yourself on budget, trying to have the YouTube channel. And then if you're going to pay for editing and SEO and thumbnail and what have you on that side, and if you're going to film yourself, fantastic, you'll save there. And then trying to pay for a website, it's a lot. I'm going to make sure in the down below on this video, here's your call to action, everyone out there. Channel Junkies website is going to be down below. I also want to give you their YouTube channel as well. You guys have about right now, since what is this, August 2019, you have about 20,000 subscribers, 73 valued videos uploaded, and about 214,000 views on the Channel Junkie YouTube for real estate leads page. So I want to give you guys the value right now for free, so you all can check that out and see what's there. And of course, you can check out their brand new website, which is the original Houston, Texas site, which is down below as well. In the next segment I want to get into, Jackson, is I want to go into a little bit of let's go into like the backstory. So you said 6 years ago, you got started with this whole YouTube conception with this passive prospecting. And so what was the catalyst that basically, said YouTube, there's something here? Like what was the conception? What was the thought in your mind that was just like, let's go in this direction?
So I'm not pimping it out. I don't make $1 from it, but I did, I did write a book for the visual audience.
Okay, we got a book plug here. I like it.
And I highly recommend. It's called the $1 Billion Channel Method.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm bringing this up, I have the audio version. They make you, if you're going to upload a Audible book, you have to have a written book. So I did it backwards because I can't write to save my life. So I did a full audio book, and I have had probably 1,000 agents reach out to me saying it changed their life. And it's not like, A, you need to create a channel. B, you need to do. It's not directional. It's the story. So when you ask the story, it's like 20 chapters of how I created this whole entire thing.
Wow.
That if you see a living in channel across the country anywhere, they came through my training, my coaching, and so it was through. And that's the unfortunate part about the industry today is there's so many oh, it's so easy. I closed 10 million in the first 3 days. And there's a lot of YouTube gurus out there, and I'm like, damn, homies, I went through like 18 months of misery. I'd moved to Portland. I didn't know anybody. And then I got into real estate, which was even tougher. And I'm shooting thousands of videos, dude, for like 18 months. I almost had to quit, go back to Idaho. I used to be a journeyman lineman working power lines because I couldn't get a deal to save my life. I'm trying to open houses. I did the whole Gary V thing, which was digital mayor. I shot thousands of videos, dude. I was doing sometimes 5 videos a day. Restaurant interviews, shops, movie theaters, and then I would do market update. I did everything that all the gurus said to do. And you can kind of hear it in my tone. This is when I started getting kind of fired up because I'm like, dude, I did them all. And I would put them onto Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it. I put them everywhere, YouTube, and I never got a lead.
Interesting.
My partner now, who you are aware of, Jesse, we kind of started working together. He did like 24 deals his first year. So he's like that type of like just crazy driven, like smart. And I'm just like this hustler dude, right? And so
I'm right there with you.
No direction. I'll just do all the work, but I have no idea how to close business. And so I think he saw that, and I know, knowing we've been partners since. And he was just like, hey, dude, I know, are you struggling? You okay? And I'm like, no, not really. So he made me kind of a business partner to like go do lock boxes and signs. And he paid me 20% of his deals to just be his assistant.
Got it.
All while, hey, that's going to free you up a little bit. Go do more of these videos. I see what you're doing. Something's going to give. So, anyways, with all of that pain, misery, going through all the videos, I learned a lot. I got better at videos. I started a podcast 6-7 years ago called The Digital Mayor because we were almost selling it like, hey, we're doing all these videos. And you know what? I did get a lot of attention, but it was only from real estate agents. So I got 0 leads, 0 home sales, but a lot of agents were noticing it, and it makes you feel good. And that's honestly what gets sold today is just, views, but it could be on a random video that has nothing to do with real estate. But I knew personally it wasn't paying the bills. I had young kids, a third on the way. I was broke, had to figure it out. And so I was interviewing a gal on that podcast, and she her husband was in the military, so she moved a lot, and
Okay.
she was a blog writer. And so she would write these blogs and generate leads for real estate. And she learned one day that if she put a video in the blog, that it would rank better. And this is like circa 2015, probably 12, 15. And so this is a long time ago. Well, then she's like, well, I might as well just make it my own video instead of somebody else. So she like randomly shot like a pros and cons video, and it really worked well. And I'm like, no shit. So like,
let's go.
I'm all, have you closed a deal from YouTube? She goes, yeah, I actually just closed one today. I get a couple calls, a month. And I'm like, I've never received a call. So like, I'm kind of living this lie.
Yeah.
I'm doing all these videos and nothing's working. And I was like, that's crazy. So I start looking into the YouTube thing, and there is not a soul doing it besides like market updates and listing videos, but like ranking for keywords, nothing. So that's kind of how it all, like, okay, I'll try it. I tried. You can look at my original, because I have 13 of them across the country. So then you fast forward to today, we've closed 750 homes across 13 different markets. Like I've done it everywhere, but I started doing the videos, and you'll see there's massive gaps because it didn't work right away. Even though I do the keywords, the video wouldn't take off. And I'm like, well, that shit sucks. It ain't working. And then I would come back to it. Well, then I started realizing, sorry, it's a long story, but
yeah, you're fine.
This is what's going to help. I hope, if out of anything, like this is what helps the audience the most, is that it's not easy. It's not like, you have to understand what your clients want. And so that's why I always say it's called content marketing. Everybody says that loosely, but they don't know what it means. That actually means answering the consumer's questions. So when you talk about websites, YouTube, any kind of videos, you got to answer the question right out of the gate. You're hooked. So that's when it kind of started dawning on me. And I learned one day that gal did more of like pros and cons, and then she would do escrow process. And I'm like, that shit doesn't work. Yeah. I found out through keyword research way back in the day, when I searched Beaverton, Oregon, which is where I was living, in Google, it was searched like 37,000 times a month. And I'm like, holy shit. Well, TubeBuddy had just started coming out. In fact, I used to use a tool called Morning Fame, which you don't even see. That's how old I am on this stuff. Wow. And I did a search on how many times Beaverton, Oregon was searched in YouTube. Yeah. It was 395,000 times a month. And I'm like, oh my God, people are searching Beaverton, Oregon in YouTube 12 times more a month than they are in Google. They want to see it, right? Yeah. I went and typed in Beaverton, Oregon into YouTube, and it was like the number one video was a minute and a half shaky cell phone video that some random person did of the Beaverton flea market or whatever. And I'm like, that's it, dude. Wow. I'm like hitting up Jesse, and I'm like, hey, we need to go out and vlog like these cities, and maybe we can rank for like Beaverton and people are searching it, and they'll call us. And he's like, all right, let's fucking roll. So we rolled. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm filming. I'm like cell phone setting them up, and we started kind of hitting the city. Guess what? The channel's growing. The videos are getting views. Yeah. But we got no phone calls. And I'm like, damn it. What's going on? We were in a meeting one day with our lender who did some videos with us, dude, and he was super fun. And his boss shows up and he goes, your guys' YouTube channel is insane. I have been in this industry for 30 years. I've never seen anything like it. Wow. The vlogs were killing it. They were fun. They were engaging. They were getting crazy views. He goes, do you ever tell anybody to call you in your videos? I'm like, no, dude, that's too salesy. They'll leave. He goes, no, people are idiots. You have to tell them exactly what to do. And I'm like, all right. So I came up with this kind of like, hey, what's up? It's Jackson Wilkey with the Real Agent Now group right here in Portland, Oregon. If this is your first time to this channel, we do videos every week about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play. So make sure you subscribe. And we get phone calls, text, emails every day from people moving and relocating here. We absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving anywhere in Portland or Vancouver, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, weekends. Let's go. That took a couple videos to get that out, but that became the message. You will hear 1,000 realtors across the country use that exact call to action, and that's the one that I came up with. And the next video, we had like 15 phone calls. People were like, oh my God, I didn't even know you guys were realtors. I didn't even know, and so like, boom, it kind of took off. Then the whole, so then I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, I get this YouTube thing. Like, I'm a YouTuber now. our YouTube channel is like my name plus like the Real Agent Now group, has no SEO relevance. I'm like, I wonder if I changed the channel name to just Portland, Oregon. Because what happened was one day I was searching in YouTube and I was searched up something and I looked and there was a YouTube channel name that ranked #1 for that search because it was named that. And I'm like, I wonder if I named, and nobody was doing this. If I named it, and I'm like, okay, what if it's living in Portland, Oregon? That's a really heavily searched long tail keyword. And I changed it to living in Portland, Oregon, which again, this is back in the day. Now you can just go into your customization and change your YouTube channel name. Back then you had to change your actual Google name. So if I like send emails or something with my Google account, it comes from first name living in, last name Portland, Oregon. And I changed my channel name to living in Portland. Boom, it slammed up in ranking, helped the videos. And that's how the entire living in, which now, you know, there's thousands and thousands of realtors doing across the country, maybe tens of thousands. That's how the whole entire thing started.
Wow, man. Talk about failing forward. I got to say that's a awesome story. And you didn't quit and you found your partner. And it's like, just like Smith and I, so Smith's our co-founder at Liftoff Agent, like used to work at Google, UI, UX, website development, you know, what have you. He's the man behind the map and all that type of stuff. But I'm more of like on your side, you know, Jackson, I'm more like, I'm the cheerleader. I'm in front of the camera. I'm out there like the visionary. Let's go do this. And you got to have that yin and yang. I think that people that are listening and viewing right now, like, you don't, you know, if you find a partner, you don't want to be on camera and you're a techie person, be a techie person on the back end. Cause I talked to Jesse about a lot of the stuff he nerds out on. He's like, I love the analytics. I love the back end, the SEO, the long tail, the short tail keywords, all the things. And so it seems like you two have found a really good balance. And the fact that you are giving back and serving and supporting. Because I remember, I mean, this must have been 4 or 5 years ago. I was watching you on YouTube and Channel Junkies and all the things. And then I heard about the business model and how you're helping agents with, I think it was an older business model where you had the web, you had like the YouTube channel you would set up and a phone number. And then you own that. And the whole thing that you guys are doing. And so it's amazing now to be here, you know, interviewing you and adding value to our industry with what we're doing here to just be of service behind what you're doing, which is amazing. And I think that, yeah, you're right. It is more saturated, but I mean, I can imagine like after COVID, people want to build know, like, trust. They don't want to be sold to like how it used to be, the cold calling, the FISBOs, the for sold by owner, everything's shifted to now like people just want to like go on YouTube, get education. And then they want to be like, okay, cool. I know everything I need to know. And I really like Jackson. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a call. And it's like almost like a fan celebrity relationship. They're like already like, hey, like I know you, I like you, I trust you. Like I've watched like 50 of your videos. I went to your website. I downloaded the guide. The flip book is amazing. And I can imagine for people out there need to understand like the conversation's different.
Totally. And that's the one thing I left out of my story was I did the cold calling, door knocking, open house, and my personality, dude, I'm going to stand out at a party. I'm happy go lucky. I'm a very outgoing dude, but when it comes to closing, I suck. And so like, I couldn't get a deal to save my life. And so it was just the hard conversations I wasn't good at. And yeah, it just changed everything. I mean, it's not just a call. It's a freak out. It's a celebrity. And where I'm at today, I don't answer any of these. You know, we generate on average 200 something leads a month just on this one channel, not including all my other 12 of them. And I don't answer them. I don't nothing. Like 100% of that gets answered. And that's how good these leads are. They're better than they're 10x better than a referral. A referral, you still don't know that person. You got to gain their trust. This is just, it totally changed the industry for sure.
Wow. I can imagine too, even probably better than like Zillow leads and some of these other leads, because you got to think about it like people that do pay for leads out there. If you agree with this, if this is you, you still got to build know, like, and trust. You still have to have the conversation. You still have to go deeper with that. Hey, you know, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why you're looking to make a move, you know, all the things outside of the conversation that you're having. And it's great that like, you know, you can remove yourself from the process of needing to say, be transactional. Like you don't have to call the leads, go through that process. You built this whole infrastructure. So what did it look like? Let's get into the segment of what it looked like for someone out there that wants to, they're going to get on YouTube. They're going to go down this process. Maybe they want to be like you. They don't want to really transact.
Yeah.
They want to build a team. They want to be able to hand those off. Like, what is that kind of SOP, KPIs? Like, what does that even look like? At what point of your growth did you say, okay, now we're going to build this team. We're going to hand these leads off, and I'm just going to be the face, but I'm not going to be the day in, the day out working with the buyers and sellers?
It's actually a good question. And it's a little deeper than one would think, because coaching as long as I have and interacting with both sides of the spectrum, whether you're the Jesse or the Jackson. Yeah. What happened was too, is that once the leads started coming in, it was my lead generation. So Jesse said, I'm going to give you 20% of my business until this video thing goes. And once your business equals mine, which I never thought would happen because he did 24 deals his first year. Wow. We'll split everything 50-50. Well, we treated it as the YouTube channel was my leads and he was doing everything else. So I'm phoning all these, right? Phoning. And I mean, these people are going nuts. And I am just like, this is the greatest. Bro, I would talk to these people for 2 hours on the phone and get up and call Jesse. Another one just called, dude. No way. He's like, badass, dude. He goes, are they pre-approved? And I'm like, I don't know. He goes, when are they coming? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, he's like, what the fuck you mean you don't know? I'm like, I didn't know to ask those questions. So again, I give backstories because there is the Jessies of the world who, like, their first thought is I'm gonna get this person in my set. I'm gonna close them, right? I'm just like the happy-go-lucky. So what happens is I get a lot of people that go, Jackson, I'm the video guy. Great. That's what you need to focus on. You need to be that person. And what I would try and do is find the Jesse out there. There's a million of each, right? Now, who can do it at a high level? There's a fraction, small fraction. But yeah, that's kind of the partnership, because the crossover is you get the Jesse out there who wants the YouTube leads, and they're smart enough to go, yeah, those are the best leads I've ever seen. But they don't want to go shoot the videos. It's the last thing they want to do, right? If you drag them out, they'll go do it, whatever. But no, they're too busy running the business. So the problem I see in this, and I've coached for so many years now, is that I get the Jesse who reaches out and wants the coaching the channel, but they can't stay consistent with the videos. They got all the meetings. And then I get the Jacksons of the world who shoot all the videos. I've had guys have crazy, or gals, crazy channels that go nuts and a lot of leads, and they close 0 homes, right? Oh, no. So you have to realize what you are good at, and then I think that the partnership is good. Every once in a while, you can get into the people who are good at both, who have the drive to do the videos and to close at the same time. But it's just, and the reason that they don't close. So when you talked about Zillow leads, Facebook leads, all that everybody bases those on a conversion rate. A 1% to a 2% conversion rate is like really good, right? And then I'll get the meatheads are like, oh, I close it like 6%. Cool, whatever, bro. I don't care. Congrats. We have a conversion rate too, and it's pretty high, but where our conversion rates are very low is in the systems and the follow-up, because as you found out, and as I found out, when we move into areas, you're very needy. You need a lot of attention. You need to talk to somebody. You need to know these areas. You want to feel it. Am I making the wrong decision? So you got to talk. And if you're not keeping up with them on the systems, they go to the next person too quick. So that's where the danger can come in. And with more and more people out there, you got to have systems in place. And that's what we're always trying to improve. So if the source is real SOPs or whatever is, look, if you're a Jackson, then what I would do is not go talk to a Jesse and say, hey, I'm going to create this. Would you close the deals? I would go create the channel, start getting the leads, and then find an agent who has crazy systems, who's a top, and go, hey, I've got these deals. Can you close them? They'll close one of them and go, that was the greatest deal I've ever had in my life. How can I get more of them? Then you've got them locked in, right? So all too often, everybody gets the big idea that I'm just going to do the videos, and then I'm going to have, and they start, by talking to the agents, and then it takes 3 months, 4 months, to get the leads to come in or whatever, and convert and all, and they'll just lose all their magic, right? So I would find the person. I would just build the damn thing, get the leads, and from there you have all the power in the world. If I go generate a channel anywhere and I've got YouTube leads coming in, I'll go get the #1 agent in that city begging me, to have them, right? Like I already know that. And then from the other side of it, if you're somebody who's like, I'm just not going to shoot the videos, there's a lot of people. And actually, Jesse and I were just talking about that. We're going to create kind of like a community to where we can almost connect people like that across the country, to where they can find that, because you would want to go find that person, you know, that's like me, that's going to shoot the videos, and then trust them. Give them a little bit of, like, you may have to give them a little bit of the business or pay them or something just to get them going, because they might be broke as a joke like me, and then allow them to go out and create this resource.
Dude, genius. I love that. I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, leads equal leverage. And if you can have the leads, you have the leverage, then it makes more sense to like then call that top agent and speak with them and have that conversation, which is awesome. I think that's great. One thing that we're doing behind the scenes, and I'm just going to put this out there publicly, I haven't talked about it just yet, is that you're seeing with these top agents that are on YouTube, what they're doing, kind of like what you guys have done is they're, you know, building the YouTube channel, they're building the ecosystem, they have the website, the leads are coming in, they're handing the leads off. Like we had Adam Hancock on here as well with our YouTube channel for Liftoff Agent. We talked about how he'd done $500 million and he built his whole independent brokerage this way. And so what we're doing is with Jen, she's a full-time teacher and she's a real estate professional, and she sees the value in this passive prospecting. And so we're like, hey, you know what? Like, maybe we'll pay you a little less salary, but if you want to help us grow our sales division, you want to be the female version of Norman, which is myself, aka Mr. Liftoff, and be able to put out YouTube content. You know, we'll build the brand, we'll build the website, we'll build the YouTube channel, we'll do the editing, we'll do it all in the back end. So we'll invest that $30,000 into you for the first year, plus give you salary. Plus, then you can start handing these deals when the leads come in. You have the leverage, like you said, Jackson. Then we can pick and choose whatever agent we want, and then you can say, "Hey, here's what I'm doing. This is a success I'm having, all thanks to basically Liftoff Agent, what I'm working with them on." And then we can help her build her EXP downline. She can help us grow our sales division. She could be a model for the organization, and it works on all four fronts. And so that's the first time publicly be putting it out there. That's a road we're going down, just because I'm like, well, how do I build a sales division that is going to be the most like perfect way to showcase all angles and not just put, you know, I don't know, a couple $1,000,000 at hiring a team, you know, and doing traditional. I was like, let's go deeper in this thing. So I love what you guys are doing, and we're actually going to play off that model as we expand our sales division with the organization over here.
Got to get people doing what they like to do.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love that. I love that. So at what point, let's go into the segment of, okay, so you started off, you've had the success, you found your partner, yin to the yang, right? Now you're closing the deals, you're getting the systems going. At what point were you like, okay, this is great for us, but let's now give. Let's train, let's support, let's bring other you know, markets in, other agents into this thing. Like, where did the training come about?
I started documenting it like right away. I think I'm just kind of a born YouTuber. And so like when it started working, and you mentioned the Channel Junkies has like 74 videos. That thing's got probably like 2,000 videos. I've just unlisted a bunch of them because they're old, don't work. That's actually what I teach in my YouTube 2.0 course is some of that for the real estate side of things. But I started just documenting it, like just this is how I'm doing it. And I mean, I got OG agents who've been following me for probably 6+ years now that just took some of the free training, you know, back in the day. But so that's how I started the Channel Junkies, was just documenting, doing YouTube for real estate, doing all that. And that's what kind of spread the message. When we wanted to start branching out was like, all right, well, immediately we lived in a very advantageous area because Portland, Oregon and Vancouver, Washington are separated by a river. So we were able to start dabbling up into, and this is crazy because the analytics, the data and all that, that's how I learned this whole thing. Right.
Okay.
And I spew all that out to Jesse, you know, but I'm the one actually doing the research, figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And one day I looked and I started understanding traffic source, which is how are people discovering the YouTube channel? What are they searching? And the number one search to our Portland, Oregon channel was Vancouver, Washington. I'm like, oh my God, Jesse, you're licensed up in Washington, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you know anything about Vancouver? He goes, I know enough So we started shooting videos in Vancouver, and next thing you know, boom, we're closing Vancouver deals. So we're like, should we go to Seattle? Like, the market's twice as expensive. These homes. And Jesse's like, dude, if we get $1 million home back then, $1 million home, I'll just drive up here and close them. So we drove up to Seattle and started living in Seattle. That's how that started. Learned a valuable lesson. When markets are super expensive, people don't move right away and buy. They rent for a year. That channel took forever to grow.
Wow.
But it inevitably went. We once we got it going again, the leads started pouring in. At this point, we were busy doing other stuff. We want to grow this thing and scale it. And I wanted to go back to my hometown of North Idaho, Coeur d'Alene. This is pre-COVID, by the way.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that. So we started talking to our brokerage about like, how do we open up in different markets? How do we do this? And he's like, well, you have to franchise it. And we're like, well, that sucks. Like, we don't want to spend all this money and open up a brick and mortar just to have it. Like, and that's where traditional brokerages are so limiting. And we were like, well, that sucks. We had been hearing about EXP, but always negatively through a bunch of kind of like guys who don't sell. And there's like, you can get rich, just come in here. You don't have to do anything. We're like, yeah, you're a loser. We're working. But when we talk to like actual doers, they're like, dude, you do realize with a cloud brokerage, you could open up these YouTube channels anywhere in the world and you only have the one cap. And that's when we were like, whoa, okay, that makes more sense. So we took a meeting with like high up people. Yeah. And oh, dude, it changed our life. We're like, this is shooting fish in a barrel. So like at this point, I'm like, I'll travel the country and start these channels. Yeah. And we can actually get agents to come join us at EXP. I'll give them my YouTube course for free. I'll train them up. I'll blow them up because the more they make, the more I'm like, let's go. That's how it all happened. And so we switched over to EXP. And so then you asked, how did you start handing off? Again, my stories are very long, but it's all story form. Yeah. This is where I teach differently from most because I went through it all. Sometimes it just the message. But anyways, we were at EXP one day, not at it because it's a brokerage, but Jesse is always trying to like scale, grow. So what happened was we kind of got to like this point at our Portland business where we peaked. We just couldn't get over this like million, however many deals it was, 40 something deal, whatever. And we knew we needed to scale. And is it just an agent count? What is it? And so we talked to somebody in our upline, and that's where the value, the serious value of EXP came in. If you join the right line, you can partner up with the best of the best, and they want you to grow because the more homes you sell, right? Everybody knows them all, but that's the simple version of it. Hey, I want to help you 10x your business because I'm going to make more off that. And Chuck Fazio owned the biggest independent brokerage. He did $2 billion in sales annually. Wow. And we were like, what do we do? How do we scale this? And he looked at Jesse. He goes, are you still selling? He goes, yeah, every day. He goes, you need to stop today. And Jesse's like, I'm the best agent though. Like I'm a closer, And Chuck Fazio said, you need to get out of the business. You need to hand off 100% of these deals or you're never going to go anywhere. Wow. So Jesse calls me. I'm the video guy. Jesse's the closer, right? Yeah. Jesse's very, very good at it. Like the best, right? And he calls and goes, Jackson, guess what? And I'm like, well, he goes, I'm stepping out of production. I'm like, the fuck you are? Like, what do you mean? He's like, hey, dude, I think this is our next step. I'm gonna run the business, but I'm gonna get the agents on. We're gonna hand all these deals and we're gonna do splits like this, and this. And that we went from like 14 million, 15 million, 16 million, like right in that pocket area. And this is pre-COVID, pre-inflated numbers, lower price point, to like 54 million to 120 million. Wow. Like it just like, I mean, it 5X, 10X instantly. So that is, again, the hardest part of not only real estate, but especially YouTube for real estate. Everybody's, they do things wrong in the videos where they make it only about them. And when they try to hand it off, they can't, or they think too much in their mind. So nowadays I've got it pretty dialed to where they don't even ask for me. They know I'm just kind of the video guy. And so that's kind of how that whole thing originated to where you see agents nowadays kind of having like partnerships and duos and teams and stuff. That's how it all came about. Cause we've taught it in our course for so many years, how to scale and grow it. So that's
wow.
that story.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And I love how you guys are just giving back the information that you're learning and you're falling forward and you're like, hey, this is what's coming up for us. If we can help you have quicker, faster success, learn from us. And then
that's it. We truly pioneered and blazed this thing. There was nobody ahead of it. And we truly blazed it, hit all the hurdles and the bumps and paved this freaking road that there is today that so many take, and just make it look easy, but it wasn't. There was a lot behind it. So it's pretty, it's fun to get it out sometimes.
I want to go into this segment and talk a little bit about intention. Like when you think about like setting the intention to like start a YouTube channel, filming content, like, from like getting on camera to what you're saying, to the sound, to the lighting, like how much like pre kind of meditation, scripting, setting the right intentions before you actually do it. Does that play into the success of the channel? Does that play into the video? Like how much like kind of like, I don't know if you want to use the word manifesting, right? But how much pre-planning comes into that, or setting the right intention so that when you do hit record and you do put out the videos, it actually becomes successful?
Well, this is where I might piss everybody off. I don't. I find personally for me is the opposite. Now I've had students who script out, use teleprompters, and close 50 million. Right? It's not the way that I do it. I don't like the sound script. Now, when I start again, if I go back to story form, when I started the YouTube channel, what did I do? I had a script. I put my cell phone camera up on a garbage can that was sitting on a table because I'm 6'3", like to get it high enough. And I read and I read and I read, right? And I would mess up my lines and I would have to do it again and do it again. And the videos were flat. So I just always hated that. And then it took me, a long time to figure out to be me. And I just started telling stories of when I moved to Portland. I told a story of like, God, the daycare here is so expensive. So as agents, we're always like, everything is perfect. Everything is pretty. There's nothing wrong with anything. And I just said, what it was like moving to Portland when I moved here. So I told these stories of what it was like to move to Portland. I'm not from there. Yeah. And that video went nuts, dude. And people were calling and like moms crying. And they're like, I'm so glad you said that. We've been calling and we finally found our baby a daycare. It's right by where we want to live. We want you to help us buy a house. And so that's what kind of like lifted my confidence to go, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm going to be me 100%. And it catapulted everything, what you see so easily nowadays was like, man, I really had to figure out not only what to say on these videos, but how do I title that video? What do the thumbnails need to look like? My intros, I learned after thousands of videos and all these channels, I shoot them at the end of my day because I don't know what I'm going to see or say or do in my videos. And I also don't know what the most enticing aspect of that video will be until I shoot it all. So I learned that I shoot my intros at the end. So even on this video that you're recording right now, you shot an intro before it. It kind of went away from what we're talking about. I would shoot the intro, or I would take a clip of what I said and I would put it at the beginning and be like, hey, this dude just got 178 leads from his YouTube channel and 58 from his website that we built him. You're never going to believe this story. So now you've heard all the information. That's how you hook people. So I don't plan anything. And people always go, Jackson, man, you traveled to all these cities for years and you did all these videos, and I would do 20 videos in 2 days in a city that I had never stepped foot in, never been to. And they go, what do you read? What kind of information? What are you doing? And I say, nothing. I just go there. I look around. I drive. I tell you what I see, what I like, what I don't like. I try to analogize it with different cities that I've been to. And then I just pour thick on I'm a dad. I got kids and this is what I like to do in these areas. And we want you to move to the right spot. So make sure you give us a call, give us a text. And so with that, I create my character, who I am, and I get people to know, like, trust me that way. So I do no planning. I know now, and it takes a long time to get to there, but like, I know now I can go anywhere in the world and I could just dominate everybody,
Yeah, I agree. Good hooks are always something great. Even like, we talked about before even getting on air, a little bit about the Channel Junkies website. I've been pushing out content on YouTube myself. I looked at your YouTube channel and I was just like, all right, so there's some conversations we could have offline. about that as well, because I film on Mondays for my filming days. I'm right there with you as well. I don't like scripting. I like to just be authentic and just be real and just, you know, go off the cuff and, you know, of course, storytell, but of course make it so it's going to go in hand with the topic of whatever it is.
Well, you got to reach pain points, right?
Yeah.
So like I always reach pain points with my hooks, my intros, or I know what they're wanting. So I tell them that, and then I hook them in a way. So like in your case, and that's what I've mastered. Like I could literally take any profession in the world, and I can talk to you for a while, and I could build out your entire YouTube content. Like I don't care what the industry. So like with you, I already know what the pain points are, right? It's agents who already spent a shitload of money on stupid ass sites that have IDX and search. Why would I go to that? Zillow's way fucking better. Like I'm not going to go to your site to look at properties. So I get hundreds and hundreds of emails from agents like, hey man, I want to do this YouTube thing. I just dropped 10 grand on my site. Can I tie it in? And I go to their site and I go, sorry, man, there's no value here. Like, how are you going to drive people here? So if you open your videos and you're like, hey, have you already spent a bunch of money? You're thinking about spending a bunch of money on a website. Take a look at this guy's website we just built for X amount of money, right? Look at this heat map. He just got 37 web type forms in the last 30 days. That's 37 leads. Look at names, numbers, emails, budgets, dates, times, you name it.
Yeah.
They put it all in there. These guys don't, the conversion's 100%. Here's how we did it, right? So the pain point in the video, and that's why I don't script. That's why I don't look, because I'm gonna figure out what people are searching, why they're searching it, and what their pain points are, and I'm gonna hammer them with it out of the gate. Hey, you're thinking about moving to Houston, Texas. You have no idea where to live. Guess what? I moved here 4 years ago, and I moved to the wrong spot. It was the most miserable thing that I ever did, having to uproot my family, and I don't want it to happen to you. So today, I'm going to go through the map, and I'm going to talk about a bunch of areas you might like to live, but most importantly, a bunch of areas you will absolutely hate to live. So if you want that information, that's what we're getting into today. So I hit him with all those like 3 major hooks. You're moving here. I did too. I moved to the wrong area, and you're going to hate these spots. They're like, fuck, I need this video more than you know. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I love
again,
that.
it's a lot of reps, a lot of time, but I know how to hook people, and then I'll keep re-hooking them through the video and re-hooking them. And then, yeah, man, that's how you make, you know, and it just takes time. You got to stay consistent with it and learn from these videos.
If y'all find it value, please like, subscribe, notification bell, of course. And if you mention Liftoff agent in strategy session with us, we're gonna give you additional 10% off just because Jackson and Channel Junkies. So thank you so much for your time today, everyone out there is viewing and watching. Last segment I want to get into is call to actions, CTAs, call to actions in the video themselves for conversion and more lead generation on the website.
Yeah, I have multiple, and this is where it changed. If you watched me 5-6 years ago, we would put our hook and our call to action up at the front. Okay. And that worked. But that's my analogy that I give is when Tiger Woods came out back in the day, he was beating people by 10, 15, 20, 25 strokes a tournament, and there was nobody close. He could outdrive them, outchip them, outputt them. Well, what did he do? All these kids that were freaking 5, 10 years old watching him, they started going to the weight room. They started practicing every day. Tiger's competition back in the day would go straight to the bar, smoke stogies, and drink whiskey. So what happened was early on, we were the only show in town. We were the only videos that were out there about these cities. We could literally put anything out and they were going to rank and they were going to be successful. Well, now, again, I've created my Tiger, you know, I'm Tiger, but I've created all these golfers, all these YouTubers now who are making these incredible videos. And I started noticing, again, I'm the biggest data analytic nerd on planet Earth. There's no human on planet that knows YouTube stats better than I do.
I love it.
I started noticing all these massive drop-offs and my watch time dropping and average view durations and all of these major dips in videos. And the number one thing I was seeing was they were skipping through the whole video to get to the meat of it, because now they can do that. 1, 2, they have so many other people out there just getting into the video quicker. So my video started to kind of not rank. They weren't performing. And I'm like, I'm the creator of this. How's this happening? So I learned that was too long. Now I've got to hook people out of the gate and I got to get right into the video. Well, then where's the call to action come? Man, I'm hooking, rehooking. And when I rehook somebody really, really, really hard, Like I might even sneak into a house and preview, hey, we're going to see this house. This is the craziest layout I've never seen anything like it. But first, hey, let's go to the website. I got to show you where we're at. So I'll jump on and I'll just use our website that you created for us. Hey, this is originalhoustentexas.com. Check it out. We've got a whole map. In fact, today we're out in Cypress, Texas. If you click on that, check it out. We got all the videos in Cypress. You can go right down here and you can actually look at properties. And guess what? We have built integrative technology that you've never seen before. If you start hearting these little buttons, it's going to start figuring out what house you like with AI and technology. And it's going to create a perfect list of homes just for you, right? This is crazy. Dude, that's the first thing you learn with CRMs, right? So
yeah.
For realtors, they're like, well, my CRM does that. To the normal consumer, they're like, oh my God, it can do that. That's amazing. What? I know this now. So that drives people to the site. It's a call to action they didn't even know. And then when I say this is actually the number one thing that people reach out saying that they love is this website. It's all free. I'm not going to cold call you. It is all value. In fact, when I built it, I wanted to make sure that it was the most valuable thing for you moving to Houston, Texas. So go check it out. It's free. People on average spend, 2.3 to 2.5 pages per visit. So I know that they're all over the site. Go ahead, feel free to do it. So that's how I drive into the site. When I'm on the map and I'm talking about these different areas to live, and you might like living up in Kingwood because it's like this and like this and like that. And you go to Cypress and it's a little bit different. It's going to look like this. In fact, that's why you need to reach out to me, because our team, we know every single area that there is. So when you start telling us 2 or 3 things that you like or that you don't like, you hate, we can actually start pinpointing places that you've never heard of here in Houston, Texas. So this is our actual contact information. We get dozens and dozens of calls every day, and we will schedule a one-on-one private Zoom call with you. We'll go through the map. We will help you find the perfect spot. So just pause the video, do what you got to do, and write this information down real quick, and then just give us a call. You'll get a hold of me, JoJo, directly, the crew, and we're going to take care of you. So like I that's how I hit them. So it's like super valuable, hook, and then, hey, check this number out, and so yeah, I mean,
wow,
that's kind of the success. And then the videos now perform so well, we get out to the masses, and we've had 300 lead months.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. I think the biggest thing that came to my mind in that segment was like, I was imagining, man, like I want to go to the website. I want to click on the map. I want to go. I want to do what he's doing. And I think that's kind of like
what everybody else is doing.
Monkey see, monkey do, right? And it's like, so now you're going out, you're filming the content, you're setting the intention for your viewers, you're helping coach them and hooking them multiple times because of the floor plan or the house or something they have to see. You're doing the bad, the good, the ugly. That's great. You're not just keeping it all good. It's like, hey, there's these are the places you're not gonna like, and tying it with your own story and then building that know, like, trust. That's huge. And the fact that now you can quantify that, with the Hotjar or the analytics from the website portion of what you're doing, like that's big. I think that's awesome. And so do you have people that are handling all these calls that are coming in?
Yeah, we got a whole team.
JoJo? Okay.
Yeah, JoJo's got a team of seven agents right now. And so everything, and then we got VAs set up to where, if nobody answers the phone call, which they should, but it happens, they're out in the field, they're busy, they're working, that VA will answer it, and then she will try to call Joe directly and go, hey, I've got Vernice on the line. She's in California, she's moving here. Do you have time to take this call real quick? And Joe says, yeah, put it through, or no, I don't. And so she'll take the notes and then we'll get a call back or whatever. But yeah, and we got systems that need improving too. We still, a lot slipped through the crack. And when times are busy, the inevitable really happens with agents is like, well, shit, I'm going to take all these YouTube leads where they're closing right now. I'm going to work those. The ones that are 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, they'll kind of forget about them, and those will go to other people. So that's where we got to get, considerably better. And we got a pretty big merger coming up soon that should really help with that.
Nice. No, congratulations on that. That's awesome. And yeah, I think that not to go too far down the rabbit hole because we're coming on the end of the show here, is that there's so much more you could do with the formal listing presentation on the site. There's so much more you could do with having like the preferred vendors list on the site. There's so much you could do with just other integrations where you can just literally make it so it all ties in full circle. I think one of the last questions I have for you is because you're the face, do you have an interesting story where you've had a lead come in from, your YouTube channel, another YouTube channel, whatever, where they're just like, they had to talk to Jackson. They had to work with you. I'm sure you had something out there where someone's just like, where's Jackson at? I'm curious personally.
A lot of them. And again, when you talk about paving a road, this is what every agent uses now, is my words. So they would call and be like, hey, where's Jackson? I want Jackson. And so the channel that I saw this the worst at was my North Idaho channel, because that was the third one that I built out of 13 when I went back to my hometown.
Okay.
And I started dissecting the maps and breaking down, I'm talking individual streets down to individual homes. I know it like the back of my hand. I know it better than any human, right?
Yeah.
So when I would talk like that, and then I'm like, you literally tell me 2-3 things that you like or don't like, I can not only pinpoint the exact area, I probably have walked the house you want. Like, I know North Idaho that much. So I was putting it into their head so much that they would call and they only wanted me. And so I was struggling with that, like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. And one day, in this whole hour, what have I told you? I just tell the truth and it works. Like, hey, I moved here too, all that. So one day this guy calls, or Connor, my partner in Idaho, who was running that channel, goes, dude, this guy literally only will talk to you. And I'm like, all right. So he calls me. He's like, Jackson, dude, oh my God, I'm moving there. When you were talking about how your buddy has 5 acres over here and you guys shoot guns and you guys build fires, like, that's what I want. I want that exact thing. I said, perfect. How bad you want the house? And he's like, well, I really want it. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get it for you. I'm the worst real estate agent on planet Earth. I've learned that. I'm really good at the videos and knowing the areas, but Connor's the best agent in North Idaho. That's why we partnered up. He closes. I can't close for shit. I will be with you throughout this entire process. I will help you to find the areas, but if you actually want to get into a house, you might want to use old Connor, because I'm going to suck at it. And he's like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's so great to have partnerships. Yeah, man, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to give Connor a call. So he wouldn't even work with him, to now he's laughing. And now he's like, I'll give him a call. So it literally turned into that instantly, to where like people call like, oh dude, yeah, you bet. I'm the worst agent ever. I'm terrible, but I am so good at video. So here, we're a partnership. That's why I work with JoJo. He closes. He's the #1 agent, and he's going to make sure that your trip here is as smooth as possible. And I'll be here, throughout the whole process. If and only if you get the nope, I'm only working with you, guess what? They're going to be a headache. They're going to be miserable. They're probably not going to buy a house. They're literally just wanting you.
Yeah.
You got to chuck them.
Wow. Awesome. I think for anyone who's viewing and listening out there, this is the first time we've ever met. I mean, we've been working together, built the site. Smith's more on the back end. So Smith's kind of been doing the tech stuff and working with you guys. And so it's nice to be able to, share your story a little bit, get into brass tacks, what you're doing, how it works. And I mean, y'all out there got to check out channeljunkies.com, man. I mean, you guys are doing an amazing job. I think that you're definitely the pioneers, even outside of like Levi Elastic, those guys, and living in Dallas, Texas, like they learn from you guys, so this is the root. So y'all heard it here, and appreciate your partnership, man. Looking forward to opportunities for the Channel Junkies website. Looking forward to even picking your brain on our YouTube stuff. So I'm looking forward to some of the merger stuff going on. So thank you so much for your time today, man. It's really appreciated.
Absolutely, dude. Yep. I give it all away on the Channel Junkies YouTube channel every week, new videos. So check it out.
Let's go, man. It's free. All it takes is your time, dedication, and perseverance. So hope you all found value. Thanks so much. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell for our YouTube channel. We appreciate it. And I have videos coming out twice a week. And maybe Jackson can help me out with my my approach, so we can be more effective with what we're doing too. So
I'll help you.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll see you all
See you, homie.
on the next one.